It's 2024 and I've changed out a lot of my EDC this year. I've got a lot of really cool things that are brand new in terms of things I carry with me all the time, some new AI stuff, and things that just make me much more productive in everything that I do. So I'm going to jump into the video, the new things to me, and some of the things that I might recommend to you to make you more productive in your daily life. So let's get started. How's it going, folks? My name's Marcus. Welcome back to the channel. If you're new here on this channel, I like to talk about technology, EDC, and anything that can help me live a happier, balanced, more productive life. So let's get started. In this video, I'm going to go through 12 things that I carry with me all the time. Yes, 12 things, it's a lot of things, but these are things that are really changing parts of my workflow and making me more productive in my day-to-day. So I'm kind of excited to change these things out. When I look back at my everyday carry maybe last year, the difference between last year and the year before, there wasn't that drastic a difference. But this year I've really made some key changes. Some of these are based on recommendations I had from my subscribers, and some of them are just new advancements in technology in terms of having large language models and AI integrated in some of the tech that I carry with me now. So let's jump in. The first thing I want to talk about is my new glasses. So in the past, I've always worn these $95 Warby Parkers. I still love them. They're super cheap and I buy them in packs of like 3. Every time I get them, I get at least 3 pairs because I'm really hard on glasses. And I like this kind of clear look. I think it looks, I don't know, it looks reasonably good. I like that it doesn't cover up my face so much. So these are the Meta Ray-Ban Wayfarers. They're totally different from my Warby Parkers. They're big chunky glasses, but the reason they're so chunky is they've got a lot of powerful secrets inside. So within these glasses, they're connected to Llama 2, which is Meta's ChatGPT, their large language model. So I can ask these glasses questions and they can talk to me back through my ears. I've also got a 2K integrated camera in them. I've got speakers so I can listen to things, and they're just really, really great glasses, in addition to the fact that they're prescription lenses and just regular glasses. The battery lasts about 6 hours on these, and the case is super cool too because it charges the glasses whenever I put them in. So I really like these, and I've actually really become addicted to these since I've got them. If you're interested in doing a deep dive on these, I've actually done a separate video on these here. Click this link here. But otherwise, I'm just going to say these Ray-Bans are great and really changed the way I think about my glasses, from being dumb glasses to being really smart glasses that help me do more. After my glasses, the things I like to carry with me is my wallet. And I've shown it on this channel a bunch of times, but I've had this wallet for the last 8 years. I made this in 2016. I actually used a laser printer at my office, so it actually cut it out for me. I designed it in software. In that time, I've done very little. It's patinaed beautifully. I've changed the thread on it a bunch of times just to change the color. A couple of times it's broken on me and I've had to change it anyway. But a really great wallet, smells great, and it really feels like an extension of me. I keep it in my front pocket, and the thing about this wallet is I like to be able to carry band-aids, cash, and also maybe 5 or 6 cards and a check with me in case I need it. But I've kind of got tired of carrying it. I know I'll come back to it, and I do feel very sentimental about it. It's been really good to me for this time, but I've been looking for something new this year. And that's when I came across this wallet. This is the Dillinger from Speakeasy Leather. It's a guy, Rob, there reached out to me. He makes all of these by hand and to order. They're all fully custom. You can decide what buckles you want with them, what type of stitching, what kind of leather you use. And this is so absolutely premium. I love it. So in here, it opens out with a flap like this. It's got different sections. It's got one section where you can keep your credit cards in, and all your cards. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 in there right now. I have a check. I've got a couple of band-aids behind that in a separate section, and a whole section for having your money in. And one of the things I like about it, when you close it up, it's really small still. It fills about the same space. It's almost identical inside to my original wallet, but it's something new and it makes it flashy. He's got a bunch of different graphics you can put on it. I really like this one. It's kind of got a bowler hat, and I just thought it was kind of fitting for the channel. But he sent this to me. Thank you for sending this, Rob. I love it. And I've been carrying around this in my pocket for the last 10 days, and I really, really like it. They're not super expensive. Check it out. I'll have the link in the description below. It's a small, like Rob makes these by hand, as I said, so they're kind of small batch wallets. So if you really want one, you might end up waiting a while to get one. But you should watch on there. He's got a bunch of videos on how he makes them, and just the leather, the quality of the leather on these is, you can see as I put my finger into this here, it kind of changes color slightly. It's just really fantastic. It's just the right thickness, just the right level of quality, and I just know it's going to patina beautifully. It already came slightly patinaed, and it's just going to get better and better with time. So this is my new wallet for this year, and I'm really excited about it. I just want to take a quick break from the video to ask you to like and subscribe to this video. I've got a small YouTube channel, so everything helps the algorithm find me. Okay, back to the content. After that, in the middle of this, we've got my phone. And I've kind of previously said that I didn't want to upgrade to the iPhone 15. I didn't see any advantage over the iPhone 14. I have always been someone who upgrades to the latest iPhone every year. I'm kind of lucky in that I work in a company where I get a phone every 2 years, and every other year I buy one myself. But I was wrong about the iPhone 15. The iPhone 15 is fantastic specifically for video makers and content creators. The difference with the iPhone 15 is that they put the USB-C in the bottom of it. And when they put USB-C in instead of the Lightning connector, as you've been able to do this for years with Samsung and with Android phones, but basically you have full control of the cameras now. So what's really nice about this phone is I can shoot in 4K, 24 frames, 60 frames. I can have full control of it using the Blackmagic camera app, where I have just total access to everything that I need in the phone, and set all the settings, including ISO, the focal range, the focal length, all that stuff that I wouldn't have access to typically has now been exposed on this phone. You can also do something called Apple, what do they call it? Apple Log or Apple S-Log? I think the Sony one's S-Log, so it's Apple Log Video, which means that you can do all your color correction or any change you want to make afterwards in post. And that's the way a lot of video makers create their content. The main downside to it though is it creates really giant files. So you need to have a large SSD with this, which means a lot of content creators are trying to figure out how to use SSDs. This is a Samsung SSD with their iPhones at the moment. And that's when I came across this Opencase. This is a Kickstarter project. A guy, John, up in Sacramento actually sent me this. I like the look of it. I get a lot of phone cases sent in the mail, and a lot of them don't make it on the channel here because mostly I don't like to use a case on my phone. I like to have it naked, with the one exception of when I can accessorize it or if I can use it like this with an SSD. So the cool thing about the Opencase is it's a leatherette case that sits over your phone, but it's got this cutout on the back of it. And the really nice thing about this cutout is you can use other accessories. So here's the Apple Wallet that you can stick on the back of it. So they click in and out, but it's a tighter connection. So not only do you have the MagSafe connection, but it actually slots in so tightly, there's really no coming out. It stops it from swaying from side to side. So often it's easy to kind of twist those things off, but it clicks in so snug there that you have the MagSafe, but it stops it coming, and it's not sticking out as much either as it usually does. It's much less noticeable. I think it's a really great compromise. So in addition to just being able to put a wallet on the back, and the Opencase has their own module that comes with it. This is the standard black one. It only comes in one color at the moment because it's just a Kickstarter campaign. But I took that off and I thought, oh, what would be cool would be they send you a blank plate with it, so that if you do want to have it covered up in between times, you can do that. I actually took some Velcro, stuck it on the back of the blank case, stuck that on the back of my SSD card, and now using a fast speed USB-C to USB-C, I'm able to connect it in, and I've got an SSD card that connects to my phone. So if I do want to use it for video making, I've got a fantastic phone in my pocket with me all the time when I'm doing this. I just think it's an absolute game changer, and I was really excited when I saw this. But more exciting than that, some people are velcroing these on directly onto the back of their phone cases or not. But because this is the Opencase, it's nice and snug with this on it, but just by pulling it up from the bottom, you can take it off and keep that accessory to the side, and you've gone back to having your phone in a semi-naked space, and I just think that's absolutely fantastic. There's a bunch of other accessories you can get with it as well, and in fact I like to keep it naked when I'm using it ordinarily like this. I don't need to have the filler space in there, so I didn't mind sacrificing the filler for it, but I think it's a really class, really good way of doing it. And I think if you're someone who's interested in making 4K video or really getting more out of your phone using an SSD, consider the Opencase. I'll have a link in the description below and you can talk to John about it. It's really, really cool. Sticking with the phone case, the thing that I carry with me all the time and I've been bringing everywhere is this Plod AI. So I've got it here in the Apple Wallet. This small credit card sized aluminum machined piece of tech here is a ChatGPT integrated recorder. So what this is intended for is, if you're on a phone call, this actually sits on the back of your phone when it's in the wallet. You just stick it in there and it's on the back of your phone, and it can listen to you and the call. It's not intended for stealth mode. It's not intended to record people without them knowing. It's intended to listen on the call, transcribe the call, and summarize it for you afterwards. You can use it as a plain recorder if you're in a room with a couple of people, if you're doing a podcast or you're chatting with people or you're holding a meeting with people. You can hit record with this, stick it in the middle of the room, It will listen to what you're saying. It will label the different people that are in the room, not who they are, but speaker 1, speaker 2, speaker 3. And it will summarize that meeting and create agenda items for you as well using Plod AI's integrated app. So you use the app with your phone that connects to ChatGPT, and it uses the magic of ChatGPT to make your meetings just that bit more efficient. Now, I don't use this for work. I don't use it for, I only use it for when I'm doing things for personal things, if I'm meeting with family or friends, or I host a podcast with a friend of mine. But I found myself bringing this with me everywhere because it's just so small, and it really is really fantastic at doing that one thing, which is going to meetings with you, summarizing it for you, and pulling the action items out. So a really, really great little bit of tech to have with you in your pocket all the time. Now after that, it's kind of more the traditional EDC items. And this year I upgraded my pocket knife. Last year I carried a QSP Penguin with me, which is a $50 pocket knife the whole time. I have a Benchmade 940, which will probably always be my favorite pocket knife at the moment. But a bunch of people said if you really want to try a classy premium pocket knife, you have to try a Chris Reeve Sebenza, because they are super expensive. It is a classic. I believe it's the knife where they first came up with SV40 steel, which is kind of a commonplace, really good steel for knives these days. I went for the small. This is the Chris Reeve Sebenza small. And they're notoriously kind of a little bit like slow to the open. They're not as fast as some pocket knives these days. This is a drop point knife, and it is incredibly classy. I did buy this on eBay. I bought it used. It was in new condition, like as new, but it was actually a used knife. It had never been sharpened. It had actually never been carried because the person was too worried about damaging it. I'm going to change that. I'm definitely a person who carries a knife. I feel like a knife is for using, and I've already been using it for opening box and cutting string and things like that, that I'm sure is sacrilege for some people. I have to say initially though, I've only had this for probably 2 months now, and I'm a little bit disappointed with it. There's 2 things I'm disappointed with. One, I think getting the small was a mistake. I should have got the standard size. I feel like that's the classic, but I did think that this would be less intimidating in my pocket. I don't typically love big knives. I'm not trying to intimidate people. And I thought that maybe having the small would be more of a gentleman's knife and more classy and less intimidating. It is a beautiful knife. The thing I'm most disappointed by is just how stubborn it is to open. It really is a little bit difficult to get that knife to pop out, and then to get it to put it away again. It is kind of, I don't know, it doesn't feel, I'm not at one with it like I am with some of the other knives that I carry. It's a great knife. I think I have to get used to it a bit more, and I think it's a piece of history. It's one of those things that, you know, it is one of the kind of classic knives, a gentleman's knives, and it kind of set the standard for a bunch of things, so I'm trying to get used to it. But at the moment, for the price of it, I'm not super loving it. I'm going to continue to carry it for the first half of this year and see where we go with it. Sticking with multi-tools, here I got a really cool thing. This is obviously the Knipex Mini Cobra. If you watch EDC channels, you'll have seen these. I like this because it's a pliers and it's so small. Instead of carrying a heavy Leatherman with you, if you're carrying your pocket knife and you carry this with you, there's really not many things you can't do. With it here, I've got something that was sent to me by somebody who subscribes to the channel. They create these little pocket, if you want to carry it with you in your pocket instead of just carrying it loose. They saw that I carry this in a little wallet with me sometimes, and they made this thing. So basically what happens is it clips into this, and there's a little clip on it, and it means you can clip it into your pocket, so you can carry it as a deep carry, or it's actually extended out the top. It's mostly, you know, deep carry to within a couple of millimeters in your pocket, and it doesn't rattle around. It's nice and secure. It's just a little piece of plastic, you know, 3D printed sheath for it, but I think it's a really cool little enhancer for this tool, and I thought I'd show it on here. I'll have a link in the description below if you want to check that out yourselves as well. After that, I always carry my Tomoe River notebooks with me. This one is nearly finished this year. I've had this for you know, a good long while, probably 3 or 4 months on the go now. I carry these, they're Japanese paper, and I put all my thoughts into it. Some of those thoughts are clever, some of those thoughts are less clever, but I like having paper with me all the time. I'm a big fan of writing things down. It helps me learn, it helps me remember things. When I'm thinking about things that I've written in my journal, I can always remember which leaf of the page, if it's on the top or the bottom, and just by that fact of I kind of map out the things that I know with my notebook, helps me remember stuff, and I put important things in there. I also put unimportant things like shopping lists and all that stuff as well. I just like having paper. But I've changed up what I'm using for a pen. Now I created a whole video on the pens and kind of my systems around pens. I've got a link in the description here to that video. But one of my subscribers reached out and said that I should check out the Kaweco Liliput, and I'd never even heard of it. This is the Kaweco Liliput. It's a copper pen. It's a fountain pen. I used a fine nib, and it's a screw top. and it is beautiful. It's beautiful for two reasons. First of all, it's kind of a piece of art in itself. It's patinaed. I've been using it for a while. It really feels like mine now, in my pocket. Like I kind of reach for it, I know where it is. It just slips in and out. I'm really quick to get it in and out. But when I'm writing with it, the nib on this is absolutely beautiful. It writes so smoothly. I love the Kaweco ink, the standard black Kaweco ink that comes with it. And it's a really classy fountain pen, and it's not crazy expensive. I think it was like $100 for this. It doesn't come with the deep carry pocket clip. You have to buy that separate, and that was another $25 rather annoyingly. I think it was like 80 bucks plus the pocket clip. It was about 100 all in. But if you're looking for a fountain pen, you do have to post it. It's one of those pens that it would be too short if you didn't put the cap on it and post it. So you do have to post it. It is an ordeal to take it out, unscrew it. It's like a thing. It's a rigmarole and a routine. But if you're someone who kind of likes that, who likes just taking that moment in the day to take your nice pen out to write a thought down, I don't know. There's something special about it, and I've been carrying this a lot, as you can see from it, and I really like it. I recommend it to anyone who would like to try a pen for 100 bucks. I really don't think you can go wrong with it, and thanks to whoever recommended it to me. I appreciate it. After that, we've got the typical things. I never go anywhere without my AirPods Pros. These are the AirPod Pro 2. I've got a couple of sets of them. These have got MOB on it. I'm a little annoyed that they got the lightning connector. It costs $100 to get the USB-C one. So at the moment, I'm still in the camp where I've got USB-C for my laptop, for my phone, for my headphones, for everything else, but I still have to carry a lightning connector cable until I upgrade these. I can't justify spending $100 on just the case, which you can do. Seems pretty ridiculous to me, so I'll just wait till these die in another year, and then I'll be down to one cable travel and everything will be amazing. And before I go on to the last thing, there's a lot of stuff that I carry EDC. I always have my Whoop 4.0, I have my Apple Watch on my wrist, and I've got the Ultrahuman Air on my finger. But I'm going to be creating a separate video on these fitness trackers and why I'm kind of connected up at the moment in the next couple of weeks. So I didn't really want to go through it in this video here, but look out for those if you are interested in why is he wearing that thing on his arm and what's the whole deal with the fitness trackers. The last thing on my list here is a flashlight. Now, I'm not a flashlight every day kind of person. I do have I'll have a week or two where I definitely carry a flashlight all the time, and in those times I get in the habit of whipping it out like 5 times a day. But I do find it clunky in my pocket. I do have busy pockets. I don't like being totally laden down. By the time I've got my wallet in my front pocket with a pocket knife next to it and my pen, and then I've got my notebook and my phone in my other pocket, I'm pretty busy, I'm pretty full. So there's not really much room for a flashlight. But when I do carry one, all those caveats aside, I like this Aurora A2. I think it's just bright enough, it's small. I also have the Aurora A8. People have recommended that to me. It's slightly bigger. It's got a slightly bigger lumen output. This one's machined aluminium, which is why I carry this one. The other one I have is a kind of a plastic one. I don't like it as much. So this is really nice. It sits with the LED with the bulb sitting out of your pocket. It's attractive. It's unoffensive, and it works. It's much better. People say, why do you carry a flashlight anyway? Much better than a flashlight on your phone. If you're someone who's never carried a flashlight, I'd recommend picking up an Aurora A2. They're cheap. And it's once you kind of do get used to it, and you'll definitely see a difference between that and your phone. There's lots of times where it just makes a massive difference. So those are all the things that I've been carrying with me lately. I've really kind of changed the types of EDC I carry this year. As I said, 2 years ago, I didn't really make that big a shift. But when I look back now, when I kind of look at the things I have now back over the last 12 months, I really have made some big changes, and I'm kind of interested to see which of these things stick and which of these things change. I suspect the Speakeasy Dillinger wallet's going to be in there for a while, not so sure. I really like the Opencase, let's see how long that lasts as well. And of course the Ray-Bans, the Meta Ray-Bans, they've been kind of changing the game for me. What are the things that you think are valuable here on this list, and what are some of the things that you think are absolutely nuts to carry? Would also love to know some of your kind of niche. What are the things you carry that don't make much sense? Those are my favorite kinds of EDC. Stick them in the comments below, I'd love to hear it. Alright, hope you enjoyed the video. Good luck.